Let's wave them from here to there, all right? I'm going to play a song. I need you to wave them from left to right. You ready? Let's go! 1, 2, 3, let's go!
The trap still running on Christmas Day.
ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਉੱਚੀਆਂ ਰੱਖੀਆਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੋ ਜੱਟ ਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਆ ਪਰ ਤੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਾਲੀ ਹੀ ਚਾਚੀਦੀ ਲੱਕ ਤੇ ਗੁੱਚੀ ਦਾ ਬੈਲਟ ਤੂੰ ਪਾਇਆ ਜੱਟਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋੜਤਾ ਨਵਾਂ ਸਵਾਇਆ ਵੇ ਅਲੱਗੀ ਟੌਰ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਉਹ ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਉੱਚੀਆਂ ਰੱਖੀਆਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੋ ਜੱਟ ਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਆ ਪਰ ਤੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਾਲੀ ਹੀ ਚਾਚੀਦੀ
Hello everyone, this is Bridge here from Scaling Secrets, and today we have on the show DJ KAZ, aka Karan Bhatia. Hello Karan, how are you?
Good, thank you, Bridge, and thanks for having me here. Really looking forward to it.
Fantastic. First of all, Karan, I wanted to know, we understand what you're doing in terms of the DJ, the way that you have busy schedules. So first of all, thank you so much for making some time and actually coming over here and showing us a little bit of a different side to DJ KAZ today. So I would like to get into the mix of it, and wanted to understand, what is that one track that never fails to shift the energy in the room that you for yourself and
Correct.
for any time that you think about the music.
Yeah. For me, look, I think the one track that always gets me in the groove, or even the crowd, and it's a short banger, is Kala Chashma. No matter which party I'll play it for,
True.
in a club, in a wedding, no matter where they're from, that is that one perfect go-to song that I'll most likely open up the dance floor with.
Oh, fantastic. And, who doesn't know Kala Chashma, right? We all vibe up to it. It's a beautiful song in itself. But you spend so many hours behind the decks, playing these music, running past this music again and again. But you've also watched people coming alive to music, people who are, pretty much the dead when they come to the party or any wedding or any kind of, occasion that is there. So what is that one moment that when you see these people that reminds you of why you actually started?
Yeah. Look, funny you asked that. In fact, it was actually yesterday. So we had a 6x4 dance floor, about 300 people. The most cherishing moment for me to see was that the dance floor was overfull. We had people, climbing up on the stage.
Yep.
We had people climbing up on the chairs around the dining area because the dance floor just couldn't accommodate that many people. I had people along my DJ booth just dancing and singing along. So I think वो एक fulfillment वाली एक chance आ जाता है when you see that people are having the time of their lives, they are genuinely enjoying. And for me, it's always been about कि I want to cater to all ages, right? People from all backgrounds. मेरे को ये नहीं है कि it just needs to be the youngsters that are having a good time. For me, the main mission is that everyone needs to be on the floor, and the from the point that I open up to the dance floor till I do the last song for the night, that it's going to be a packed night.
Of course, and it is what it is, right? People love music, and once that comes into the vibe mode, and I think the mood suddenly changes pretty much as soon as the music comes into play. And I'm sure the people would have felt it yesterday as well in the event itself. Talking about the music and changing the mood itself, we all know one sort of a music, like for you, example, Kala Chashma changes the energy altogether, and for some people might be some other song. What could be, what do you think people could change in their life if they took that first step? So what would you recommend on that?
Look, I think first thing for me as well that changed is the mindset, right? That मेरे को एक बारी, when I got into the passion for music itself, I knew that, okay, if I'm going to take this seriously, is it rewarding for me? Is it something I genuinely get happiness out of? So I think it's just that having that right mindset that, is this something that you're truly passionate about?
Of course.
And then you're going to put, ji jaan tum laga doge. Like yesterday, I had a 13.5-hour day from the point where I left home and I got back at night. And the only reason I did it on a Saturday where I've had a full working week is because I know that the happiness it gives me, the accomplishment and the feedback that I get at the end of an event is what I'm truly craving, right? 100%. And so I think it's those small little things in your mindset that you have to be driven and you have to be motivated ki, haan, yaar, this is what I'm there to do, and I'm going to make sure these guys have the time of their life.
100%. So thinking about it, that it is a fulfillment feeling when you see all those people, and you always want people to take that one step ahead towards that direction that they want to take. So if you look a little bit behind, right? I mean, if you take a step back about when this DJ actually started as a hobby, when did it become a serious dream?
Yeah. Hey, look, I think so. I moved to New Zealand when I was about 12 years old.
Yeah.
So my sister and I, even in India, we would go and save up money to go buy cassettes.
True.
We would be asking our dad and saying, hey, look, this is the new track, the new Bollywood album that has come out. I remember just roaming around the streets with Walkman, those bulky, CD Walkmans as well. And then just, jamming to music from that point of time. And I always knew that, look, my sister is actually a radio host at Radio Tarana. So she would play a lot of the, what you call the original tracks.
Yep.
And I would be always on the lookout for, hey, Neha, have you heard this remix? Have you played this? And so, wo ek andar se hamesha thi ki, what could this sound like if it was done differently?
Yep.
And so that, I think, fueled more where I knew ki, okay, mera thoda, I've got a music, an ear for music, and a passion for delivering, giving good music. And that probably got serious when I started going more clubbing in Auckland, especially to the Bollywood parties.
Okay.
When I wasn't DJing, but I was going out with my friends in that era.
Yep.
And I would listen to these DJs and, the scale were amazing. But some nights I felt ki, yaar, this is not what the crowd wants. Or thoda better ho sakta hai. I feel that the song is being played too much, or the fact that these songs are being repeated too much. So kuch to main fresh is market mein la sakta hu that people have not experienced before, whether it was the fact that the DJs weren't miking enough, so they weren't interacting with the crowd.
True.
So these are the small little things that I noticed, and I was like, okay, no, if they can do it, I knew I could do it as well. They also would have started somewhere, right?
Of course, 100%. So talking about this, when you were looking at these, you were going to the parties, you were looking at things that were happening across you, in front of you. Do you remember the moment that you told yourself that, you know what, I'm actually going to do this?
Yeah.
But having said that, was there any kind of, after saying that, was there any kind of fear that came through with it?
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think the moment, to answer your question in two parts, the first part is the moment when I knew I was going to do it is one of my friends opened up a club, a Bollywood club, and his previous DJ that used to DJ from in another city, he was moving on to another country, right? So he had a window of opportunity as I saw it. And also at the same time, COVID happened. So I knew that, okay, look, I can utilize this time and what I did was I went and, ye to kafi bade size ka hai, full-fledged, but iske aadhe size ka console mein leke aaya. I started practicing in my living room, just downloading a lot of remixes, playing with a virtual DJ software at the time and just saying, kaun sa gana kiske saath mix kar raha hai. When Aankh Mare ends, the perfect transition then is Chris Brown's Yeah. And the way that it just flowed, I was like, okay, if I have learned how to do this, that, I want to do this commercially as well. So that went really well. I think just the practice that I had and that motivation and being able to, give myself that sense, I'm on the right path. So that was one part of it. And then the second component came down to when I got an opportunity to actually play towards a live crowd. And every transition or every song choice that I was delivering, I could see that the crowd's response was, that cheer, that excitement. So wo moment tha early on when I found that, okay, it may be a small group of people that I'm pleasing. Lekin, I remember jo meri pehli party thi, one of my colleagues was, he essentially got me that event within a few days of me starting.
Oh, wow.
And I got there and there were 100 people there and they were having a great time on the floor. And I think that time I realized, okay, they don't know ki mera pehla event hai. And, for me, it's an opportunity that I had to fulfill. And I think that went genuinely well. So I thought, okay, ab isko scale up hi karna hai.
But did it come with a fear? Any sort of fear, any sort of, something that pushed you back? Yes, you were thinking in the right direction. You actually wanted to do it. You learned, you did whatever you needed to do. But was there a fear?
I think the fear genuinely at that time is one of the key things is money, is an investment. Whether it be DJing or any business idea, any business concept, it takes a lot of investment, right? Yeah. But early on, I saw you have to spend money to earn money.
Of course.
So you need to invest in yourself. And that's what I did. I thought, ki kal ko main jaake, if I get the latest of the best of the gears, spend all this money in the best of the biggest lighting and sound, what if ye chale na? What will happen then? And I'm going to be left with all. So wo fear ek to wo hota hai of not succeeding.
Of course.
What if the crowd doesn't, if this is not meant for me, maybe I can't handle the pressure or if I can't deliver. So I think wo hota hai ki, where are you going to get the funds from or how is it going to happen? And is it going to be worth it? That's probably the fear. But I think I got over that. I think I figured out that koi bhi, if you have a dream, you don't need to upscale or you don't need to launch it at a grand level for it to become a reality. I started out small. I remember meri jo pehli gig thi, round table pe, one simple laptop, two small speakers, and just myself with a small console and just a little Kmart, jisme apni wording likh sakte ho khud se. So I just wrote DJ KAZ party,
I've seen that photo.
Yeah, so I think that was the whole point. You don't need to get the whole shebang to launch something, to get into it. Agar aapke paas interest hai, if you've got the right frame of mind and you're genuinely, excited to do it, start it out and then see how the response is and then start to scale yourself up.
And people talk a lot about, when you started off, you started one of the toughest times, right? That could be one of the biggest challenge people think of. But सब लोग कहते हैं राइट टाइम नहीं है, टाइम आएगा तब हम कर लेंगे यार. क्या बोलेंगे अभी हमें बुलावा नहीं आया, कुछ भी बोल देते हैं. There is a lot of sayings behind things going around. So looking back at your journey yourself, do you think there was a right time? Do you really believe into that, having that right time, or was it something else pretty much?
Yeah. Look, I feel if anything, I should have started sooner. That's one of those things ki you realize when something, obviously works out well, you feel ki maine pehle kyun nahi kiya ye?
Yep.
So, and I think at that point in time, again, maybe other things were happening in my life that I was never thought ki ye cheez kabhi main seriously lunga. But then also it came at a point where I realized, okay, I've got a certain level of goals in my life. Yeah. And for me to get to that goal, I need something that will help me achieve that goal, And so whether, if it was either fame or success or, wanting to, a personal goal that I wanted to achieve, I knew कि मेरे को एक अपना खुद का कुछ करना है, and to realize what is it that makes me different in a room. What is my true skill? So from a timing point of view, I think that was quite crucial, that I thought that, I wish I'd done it sooner. But for me, I was genuinely happy because wo jo COVID ka ek time tha, it actually gave me a lot of time to invest in my own skill. Jo ek wo time aata hai to learn the tutorials, do a DJ course, play around with your console and just add your library. Wo timing, I think, and it was just like I mentioned, when the club was opening and his DJ was going overseas. So I thought, okay, this is signs that, things are aligning. And so, one thing led to another and people were like, okay, I've got an opportunity here. Why don't you do a set here? And so, things prospered from there.
But talking about yourself, you've done more than 400, 500 plus events now, what I pretty much recollect now. And if कोई भी journey होती है, whether it's developing a product as we were talking about, या even your space of service industry है, कुछ ना कुछ test हमेशा होता है. So what was that testing point for you during that period of time or over the period of time that you felt this is something this tested you or challenged you pretty well?
Exactly. I think DJing ke liye to the biggest test that you have is literally every event. Is the fact that you have, again, you have crowds of different ages, different backgrounds, and people have put in a lot of investment into that, especially if you're talking about weddings or private events of a large scale, corporate events. They want everything to be perfect, and your job happens is are you delivering a great experience? And so I think that's the biggest test, is that you've got people coming to you asking for, hey, I want this request. Hey, I also want an announcement made. I want this, and it should be running to this time. And so I think wo multiple cheezon ko juggle karna itself, I think, is immense pressure. But overall, I think, now that I've been, had the privilege of doing about more than 500 events.
Yeah.
One thing that I've learned is, honestly, you have to keep your calm and you're cool. There are other things that will go wrong.
Absolutely.
People may not be having the best day. But as a DJ, I feel it is my job to get there and turn that around and be like, okay, you know what? Maybe things have not gone right for you. Classic example of a wedding I did yesterday. The couple were tense about something else, but the moment the dance floor started, it went away. They were like, okay, we are now in this moment. I think what test मेरे को almost every event पे ही होता है where I'm being asked about multiple song requests or pattern changes or that they're running behind timelines. So that is, I think, genuinely been one of the challenges of being in a high pressure environment. And similarly, I think the biggest challenge is playing. For me, I feel it's playing the wrong song. If there is something like that.
Absolutely, you don't want the wedding people to actually come with the wrong song, right?
Yeah, whenever I change the song, I'm always looking down. Or mera feedback hota hai from my ears. Because the moment I can hear them that they'll go into a massive chair, so then I know that it's worked well. And that happens, touchwood, a lot of the time. But sometimes, that fear is there. What if I play something that might not appeal to them?
500 events.
Yeah.
Quite a lot, right? I mean, the people you've met is immense. The amount of people, give compliments, the way they talk to you. It's a lot. It's a lot, overwhelming as well. It is what, it's a kind of compliment to what you do as well. It's a great journey that you're doing as well. But, what is something that makes Karan grounded? What is that one thing or two things that makes you grounded? Or, and actually not, or what is that one thing that actually keeps your hunger grow in this? Because 500 events, बहुत बड़ी बात है, ठीक है? And I'm sure it's a long time to come when we'll see you again with 1,000, 1,500 events as well. But how do you keep it grounded? And what keeps you hungry for this more?
Yeah. I think uske liye, the people I think that I'm surrounded with, I'm very fortunate to have friends and my partner who have kept me grounded. Yes, it does happen. Like, sometimes you feel that, bas hu to main hu, aise karke. But I think that's when, it's really good to have the people that are there to give you your well wishes and also to give you criticism.
100%.
So I'm definitely open. Especially it happened in the first year or so where my, close friend who had the club, he kept on telling me, this was really good, Karan, but you need to work on this. This was really good and it went to this point, but then wahan par thoda sa ho gaya. So I think wo constant jo hame, criticism ya jo feedback milta hai, that is really crucial. And I think when I enter home, no matter if it's been a, club party where I've just played to 500-600 people, and the moment you enter home and you're like, okay, ye meri real dunya hai, I need to obviously, cater to this. So that is, I think, the way that you keep yourself grounded and, humble in that sense. And the fact what also, keeps me humble and, grounded to that fact is when I see the other DJs in India or, for example, in USA or, I see weddings from Australia and Canada and I see the way that they have mixed the song or the way that their crowd is responding. So that makes me feel कि अरे यार अभी तो journey है आगे, अभी उस level तक भी पहुंचना है. So at sometimes like you might feel कि okay बस मेरे से ज़्यादा और कोई है ही नहीं. But these are the things that that happen and these happen on a daily basis.
No,
right?
100%. And I mean that's one thing people want to look forward to, right? I mean आप जब भी कुछ देखते हो या जब भी कुछ you look at the Instagram reels going through viral, you always want to look up to it and see कि अरे कुछ missing हो रहा है कि नहीं. So other than that, what is that one habit or, or a kind of mindset that you have that you kept and most of the people are, लोग सोचते हैं कि हम करेंगे, but they give up. But ऐसी क्या कोई habit है या is it a kind of a mindset that you run through जिसकी वजह से you keep on going through, but still, you're basically not tired, right?
Correct.
I mean, we have to see a lot of DJ Karan or Karan KAZ, right? I mean, a lot of things to see. So is there a mindset or is there a kind of habit that you actually have for yourself to keep churning your mind again and again and again and again every week on week on week?
Correct. Yeah. Look, that's a very, very good question. It reminds me of this time जहाँ मैंने एक story देखी थी. I saw a reel of He obviously a very famous TV host, Steve Harvey. And he said that when I first started, I said a joke at Broadway and I used to get paid $20 a night.
Yeah.
Then as that grew, I told the same joke for $100 a night.
Yeah.
And then he said, I kept on saying up, I kept on showing up until the point I was paid $100,000 a night. But the jokes were the same.
Yeah.
But the money that he was paid changed because he kept showing up.
True.
And he kept doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So उसने मेरे को ना उसके reel के एक end में एक बड़ा अच्छा point था. He said, you don't need to do 100 different things to earn 100 times.
100%.
You just need to find the one thing and just do it over and over again.
Yep.
Which is what I adapted with myself. I said कि Karan, मेरा ये aim नहीं होना चाहिए that I'm just gonna be मैं ये भी service offer करूँगा और मैं यहाँ पर भी play करूँगा and I'll also wanna travel to this point and I wanna become a DJ in this country. I said I am gonna do what I do best and I'm gonna do it over and over again. Obviously, I've had events where I've played 7 nights in a row and it has been the same songs during dance floor.
Yeah.
But that is the thing, right? You show up and you say, look, मेरी duty है to do what I do best.
100%.
And I took that advice very seriously. I said, look, for me, it's going to be simple. Do my best job and just keep doing it over and over again. So I think that's what the habit that gets to me. कि मेरे को ये नहीं होता कि I can't be getting यार ये तो कल रात को इस दूसरे crowd के लिए play किया था तो why should I play it again? You need, like I said, it has to be selfless where you put the crowd first and you show up and you do your best every day. And the motivation needs to be there, right? Like I might have had 4 nights of partying in the sense DJing in a row. But the 5th night that I show up, those guys maybe not have partied for the last 3-4 months. For them, I need to be motivated enough and have that energy that I have not also partied for 3-4 months. So that is, I think, the habit that I need to get into. Like I have showed up to club events after a 12-hour wedding. And, अंदर से मैं जितना थका होता हूँ, I've had a full-on day DJing the wedding and I have showed up to the club at midnight and I have pumped up that crowd to as if I'm the most refreshed person ever.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, you know what? कुछ वही लोग होते हैं जो कहते हैं कि DJing ये कर क्या रहा है? Basically, इसने आगे तो सिर्फ गाने बजाने हैं. So what's your take on those kind of people? Or what do you think about those kind of people?
Look, I would say, आओ, देखो. Like, get on stage and you'll see.
Yeah.
And funny fact you said that, one of the DJs that I know, he's actually said to me, he said, Karan, I don't know how you handle the club crowd. I can't. It's too much pressure for me. Like, you get the jitters.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because you jump up on a stage where there is already a pack. For example, you jump on at midnight, right? There's already 400-500 people on the floor.
100%.
बहुत ज़्यादा challenging होता है to make sure that you continue that energy and you deliver and you even take it to the next level.
True.
And I think that's the main part, like to be able to come in, read the room and say कि okay, मैं अब इस party को next scale पे ले जाऊंगा and to be actually able to deliver that. And again, you'll have people giving song requests, something will be going on, but you got to make sure that मेरे को एक DJ ने बहुत अच्छी advice दी थी कि Kaz, this is your set.
Yeah.
It's not their set.
Yeah, of course.
And the people that are coming to you with a request or, for example, especially happens in clubs a lot, that you are there to deliver what you do best.
100%.
You're not there to listen to others. Abhi recently this week I did a wedding as well, and an accountant, very senior accountant that I know, he came up to me. He's like, ये वाला बजा दे, इनको बहुत अच्छा लगेगा. And मैं दिमाग में सोच रहा हूँ, मैं कल तेरे डेस्क पे आके तेरे को बताऊँ कि accounting कैसे करते हैं. So how would that feel, right? So I feel like, you generally, I do take a lot of requests and advice, and because I know कि हाँ, this will work well. But sometimes I think it's just the fact of you have to be there and be like, look, what am I good at, and this is what I'm going to do. And you just cut out the noise.
Of course.
Yeah,
100%.
and just focus on what you need to deliver.
So talking about that accountant itself, I'm taking the conversation forward from there. Have you ever kind of had a choice between, pleasing the crowd and, staying true to the music, pretty much?
Yeah,
you're playing.
absolutely.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Look, that is genuinely one of the key moments that define you if you're a good DJ or not. That you can put aside all your, self-interest and because for example, like I'll tell you, my aspiration to be a DJ was, I want to be a really great club DJ. But when you're doing private parties, the crowd is very of a different background,
Sure.
different age altogether. They don't care कि तुम्हारा favorite artist AP Dillon है, yeah, you know, you love Diljit or for example.
Fair enough.
उनके लिए, and especially the crowd that they are, that you have to deliver to them.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely that happens. You know, at the end of the day, for me, I think the reason for success also has been कि मैंने अपने clients की खुशी हमेशा देखी है कि उनको क्या चाहिए, उनके crowd को क्या चाहिए, what will appeal to their, because for us as a, you know, a vendor or someone who's providing a service, like you said, it's all about what service are you bringing and what
100%.
contribution are you bringing. So
And-
you definitely need to cater to you know, the audience.
And people love it. I mean, from my basic understanding, I feel whenever you're offering a service, there's always people expectations बहुत ऊपर चली जाती है, because it's not something for free.
Yes.
और tangible तो है भी नहीं, right?
Correct.
कि छू के पता लग जाए कि अच्छा ये board ऐसा दिख रहा है,
ऐसा है,
you can feel the thing. अगर कल को you buy something, you know, glasses or a pair of anything or shoes, you wear it. That's a tangible stuff. DJ is a kind of service that is basically just listening, right?
Correct,
I mean, वो intangible item है, और उसके लिए जब कोई सुनता है, then you, of course, you need to pump your game really, really high. You need to please the people as well. But what do you think about the people, you know, who hold themselves a lot back because fear of failing, like publicly? Because what you are doing is pretty much वो stage पे चढ़ के 500 लोग खड़े हैं, and that jitters, you know, it can come up anytime. You know, that fear of failing.
Correct.
That is one thing, but there is also a fear of actual succeeding as well.
Correct. Yeah.
So most of the people don't realize it, but there's a lot of people actually have a fear of succeeding, and usi ke liye they don't do anything as well.
Correct.
You know. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I think वही होता है, like when you're starting out anything new, for example, even when I was starting out DJing, I was like, you know what, क्या होगा? Like, what will I actually become successful? Will all this investment go down the drain?
True.
Will I even get to that point of ever playing? And the same club, or even those Bollywood parties that I used to go to, will I ever get to play for them? You know, to that point. So that fear and that self-criticism definitely does happen, where you feel that, are you going to be good enough?
Absolutely.
But I recently saw something. All these legends, all these masters, all these great actors also that we see, or great personalities, they weren't born legends, right? Nobody is born a master. Never. You know, it's all about starting out small. Again, it goes back to that habit. It's about showing up every day and continuing to invest in yourself. I think khud ki practice karna, or a lot of the times, especially in DJing, I've seen that, you know, ek bari library hogi to I've seen other people get very comfortable. Ki ji, main to yahi jaunga, this is what I'll play. I'll sorry to go off topic, but this is just something I reminded. I was just on a train recently, and I had a club event that weekend. And I was just sitting on the train and just adding on new remixes. I was like, why should I even let 1 second waste जब मैं ये time को utilize कर सकता हूँ?
Absolutely.
So I think that self investment is really key. कि आपको अपना हर एक moment को you just need to think, how can I better myself? And honestly, अगर आप में, if your commitment is there, दुनिया की कोई ताकत नहीं है that can stop you from delivering your best. You know, I have seen that if you continue to genuinely believe in your passion, and you know, invest in yourself, practice, and your work is genuinely good, your work, for me, a lot of these events have been word of mouth, where people have had great experiences, and they have gone and said to the other person, oh, you're looking, or they've said, hey, you do know any good DJs? And they're like, oh, KAZ is your person, you know? These are the things I think, like, just because I had faith in myself, ki nahi yaar, I will deliver. And that's what got people's faith in me.
No, fantastic. And I mean, you have to be, right? You have to work on yourself to make sure that it comes and delivers into that output that you're giving to the people as well. But at what point did you start realizing कि boss ये DJ तो थोड़ा business बन रहा है? So what was that point that you start realizing that?
Correct. Yeah. I think what happened is COVID के बाद, you know, when the parties started to happen again, people were ready to, अंदर से भरे हुए थे, they wanted to go out and enjoy. And maybe, you know, I was sick of, you know, sitting at home. So जब वो first stretch of wave खुला and the parties happening back to back, I think within 6 months, I started to see कि the venues that I'm being asked to play at is significantly changing. You know, it started off from a very small restaurant. For example, one of my first gigs was, a very small Indian restaurant, 35 people.
Yeah.
Within 6 to 8 months, it was 200 weddings at a vineyard in Kumu.
Wow.
So that is the shift that I started realizing, okay, like, ki ab feedback बढ़ रहा है, clientele different हो रही है, obviously the crowd is getting different as well. Sometimes when I would go and meet these families, I could tell, the way that they are, the stature that these guys hold.
Yeah.
And similarly with clubs as well, Jab, when I started to get in invites from like University of Auckland, AUT, we want you to DJ the Stein event.
Wow.
That's when I was like, okay, like, and when I said, how did you hear about me? Oh, one of our university students came to one of your events that you were DJing and they had a great time. So I think that's when I was like, okay, it's really crucial key. No matter if I'm playing to a crowd of 20 people or 2,000 people.
Sure.
My energy really matters and my set really matters. क्योंकि मेरे को किसी ने ये बहुत पहले बोला था कि it shouldn't matter if you're performing for even one person.
Yeah.
What if that one person is connected to somebody that is tomorrow going to give you the biggest gig of your life? So you have to put in that effort as well. So I think that's the time that I knew that within the first 6 to 8 minutes of play, venues थोड़े better होने लगे, parties बड़ी होने लगी, weddings to that stature, and even the club events as well. जैसे कि कहते हैं ना, you start getting the prime time slots, not the opening or not just the closing sets. When I started to get कि हाँ, yes, we can trust KAZ with this set, and you start to deliver on those times. That's when I was like, okay, यार अब तो ये full-fledged करना है.
But talking about business, यार, once DJ is basically an art, right? It's a craft that you are learning over the period of time and keep learning it. But there is talking about the people who are coming new to this. You've pretty much matured into this journey quite a lot. But people who are coming new to this journey and taking this craft as a business, what is that one mistake? What do you think they're making when they're starting this journey of DJing? Pretty much.
Yeah. Just DJing or just any
DJing and turning this craft into a business? What kind of mistakes do they often come across, or even you might have come across during your period of time that you think people in new era who are starting it shouldn't make it or should be careful about?
Yes, true. Yeah. I think it comes to the point of just being a little bit too getting too much deep into self-analysis. They hold themselves back of not potentially, that this is my, essentially these are the, capabilities that I can deliver on. So वो चीज बहुत important होती है, that you need to make sure that you don't hold yourself back with a lot of analysis.
True.
ये चीज मैंने भी पहले करता था कि यार, am I showing up? Am I actually delivering what the crowd wants? But the thing is, just set all that as noise. People, कुछ लोग बोलेंगे. There'll be a lot of, people that will go around your back and say, अरे नहीं वो तो सिर्फ पंजाबी प्ले करता है, वो तो सिर्फ बॉलीवुड करता है, या नहीं he's more of a गोरे का DJ, he does more English. That all is just noise. Just let that be. Focus on what you do best, and you will see that that's continue to make sure that you deliver your
100%. And I think this is more about a tip that pretty much is there, guys. If you if you are about thinking if you can, what is the one mistake that you can make? Self-analysis, doing less self-analysis is one of the things. But what would you like to tell to somebody who's listening right now? And, if that person has a laptop and he's in a position that he wants to start DJing, what is that first real step that they should take? What is your advice on that?
I think look up in terms of the different genres of music. Do research about if you do want to play, who do you want to play for? There are so many different types of DJs. There are just DJs that just do club events. There are DJs that just do private events and weddings. So main thing is that you need to get yourself an understanding कि मुझे करना क्या है.
Find your niche, basically.
Correct. Yes. And then specialize in it. Create your playlist according to that. Download your music. Get a full understanding of music that has happened from the 70s, 60s, right up until the last week, right? Because in my sets, I will play literally everything. Like there won't be a point where I will just stick to the latest. Of course. I'll do early 2000s, I'll go 70s, I'll go latest. And that's how you keep all the ages and everyone interested. And I think that's very key, that if you want to start out,
Yeah.
You need to build up your library to the point, and
Yeah.
then the more you go and start reading people, the more you will realize ki, haan yaar, okay, this is their interest, you know, this is what they're after.
Sure.
If I'm DJing at a wedding where it's majority Punjabis,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to stay a little bit away from the, you know, latest, you know, Jay Sean song or anything like that. Because मुझे पता है कि मेरे दिलजीत ही यहाँ काम करेंगे, औजला काम करेगा. And similarly, like, you know, if I'm doing a full-on Fijian wedding where both sides of the family are Fijian Indians, I'm going to stay away from the Musewala and the traditional, because I know ki inko, it's not that those are bad songs or anything. It's just picking what product matches what audience at that point.
Absolutely. So, DJ की तो बहुत बात होगी, DJ KAZ की बहुत बात होगी. Let's talk about Karan Bhatia, right?
Yeah.
People have seen your life. People look it up on Instagram. They see what you're playing, where you're playing. What happens after the party's over?
Well, if I've not eaten, I will go and eat.
That's the first thing.
Yeah, because as a DJ, sometimes you skip on dinner. I'm like, yo, because you can imagine the food is amazing, right?
Absolutely.
But jokes aside, I think the drive back home for me is very crucial.
Yeah.
Jab sara kuch, the event is on, or if I'm done with the club event, I'm just taking it all in. And I saw this, like, you know, I think I heard an artist say it's the first 20 seconds before you hit the stage and the 20 seconds after you exit that just need to stay with you. And I think that's what I do. Ki that is when Karan kicks in ki haan yaar, ye abhi ab main wapas Karan zone mein aa gaya hu. So that's what happens. It's just that feeling of, you know, whether it's gratitude or accomplishment or achievement ki, okay, you know, chalo acha gaya ye, that was good, or maybe nahi acha gaya, and you know what to do.
And you just think about it.
Correct. Yeah. It's just for me, or, you know, and sometimes in clubs, I don't get that, you know, usi samay the party carries on and I'm out there enjoying with everyone. But for me, the key moments are, you know, the moment I finish a set, it's the moments, small tokens of appreciation.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the bride's father will come to me and be like, bete, thank you so much. It's those moments, or you get off the club event and the person, you know, you go and meet up over there and they're just like, dude, killed it tonight. You know, so I think wo ek chote moments of appreciation aate hain, you know, feedback instantly that you get, and you're like, okay, chalo, badhiya tha.
So, I mean, of course, this is one of the motivational factors that you always get with your job, right? The instant feedbacks and stuff. But how do you manage being Karan Bhatia and DJ KAZ, the brand, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people who know you, they know the Karan Bhatia. People who don't know you, they know DJ KAZ.
Correct.
So, but how do you manage that personality change? You talked about, you know, how once you finish, groom's father comes and talks to you. On the other way around, if you're catching up with anybody within the same club after that, you start talking. But how do you manage that personality change that happens between the Karan Bhatia and the DJ KAZ?
Yes, yeah. No, that's a very good point. And I think मैं अब 5.5 साल हो गए हैं DJing करते हुए. I'm still figuring it out. ये manage कैसे करना है ये different personality switch?
Sure.
And I'm going to give you a very cheesy answer that this is probably something like your name is Scaling Secrets, right? So I'm going to spill a secret here.
Yeah.
I am a big superhero fan from childhood, right? And I have watched superheroes living two personalities.
Oh, yeah.
Classic example is Peter Parker and Spider-Man, or Bruce Wayne and Batman, and anybody who's living two sets of lives. And I think wo kabhi-kabhar mere ko ek, you know, it's like that mental thing that, okay, now I'm going to take off the hat. You know, the hat, and I'm going to wear the DJ KAZ hat. So I've got that mental shift that happens within me. Ki, okay, now I'm in this zone. But yeah, it genuinely at times it does become hard because you have to look after your friends, your family. I think mere mein bahut zyada FOMO bhi hota hai, you know, if my friends are out somewhere, it's very hard. And I think that's where, as a business or a successful you know, entrepreneur, you do need to put these things aside. Absolutely. And you need to think of the greater, you know, picture. What is at stake? You know, mera bhi bada man karta hai, if, for example, one night, you know, my friends are going out, if I'm already booked or I can't get out of that event, you know, to attend that. But I'm like, no, you know what? I have committed and it is my responsibility that I will show up and I will do it fully. you know.
No,
And those are I think the choices you have to make, because it was predominantly on the weekends.
100%.
Similarly, a lot of the events happening on the weekdays, and then I have a job to go to the next day. I have a kid to drop off at daycare.
Absolutely.
And I am ghar jaake safaiyan karni hai, you know, all these things. So you still do your daily life.
Yeah.
And I think that is where being Karan is really important to me. Because if I can't be good at being Karan, I can't be good at being KAZ. That's all I can say.
That's
you know,
absolutely correct.
I need to excel everything I can do as Karan first. And then only if I'm in the right state of mind, I can come up to KAZ and be like, okay, now it's time to, you know, enjoy or unleash it.
DJ KAZ. Talking about scaling, right?
Yeah.
What does scaling look like for you? What for the next, you know, maybe year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Well, what is it looking like for you?
Yeah. Look, I was very fortunate enough that last year I ended up doing my first international event. That was in Australia. So I think my aim is genuinely to try and expand, whether it's, you know, going out for a wedding or whether it's being, you know, to do club events and anything. I would love to, my aspiration is to what can I do to put myself more on the map. Yeah. I think I have been, in the last couple of years, I have been very focused on making sure that I, you know, conquer the NZ market and build myself a brand and a name that people can trust. And touchwood, you know, it has got to the point where I have, you know, feel ki ab KAZ ek aisa naam hai that people can trust. That was really crucial for me. So ab us trust ko main thoda global scale pe jana chahta hu. And other than that, I just genuinely want to, you know, do a great job in the current kind of club events, right? Sure. I feel ki there is a lot of same music being played.
Yeah.
I feel the way that Afro is coming into the picture now, EDM scenes, Bolly tech is a new genre. Yeah. So mera aim ye hai ki I want to specialize in this. Sure. And, you know, let's move away from the typical Punjabi Bollywood party. And I want them to walk in and just say, you can open up a reel from Bastion. Yeah. You know what, DJ Ganesh is playing there. Yeah. And it is a vibe of next level. And that is the kind of thing that I'm looking to bring into New Zealand, or just even with my sets. Yeah. You know, agar koi banda party pe aa raha hai and they listen to my set, they're like, this is something we've never heard before. Yeah. Whether it's an exclusive remix or if it's another, you know, a Bolly EDM mix, that is what I want to scale up in terms of.
But do you think we've conquered New Zealand? Do you really think?
To some extent.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, to some extent, yeah.
You project it as a confidence, right?
Yes,
I mean, you really feel that if you've excelled into one of the smallest territory that we have, I mean, it's a good sign, right? I take it as a confidence, but I really wanted to know that you really feel that you've done it. But if you're saying so, that's great. Yeah. But what do you want to talk, or what is that one message that you want to give it to the people who, you know, scared at taking or scared at starting? You know, what is that one message? What would they do? Yeah. That you would want to tell them and tell them that, you know what, guys, do this. It might help.
Exactly.
You know, what is that one message?
Yeah. I think start to whatever it is that you're wanting to do, go and just spend some time practicing it or observing people. One of the crucial things I did initially was I was just observing DJs on their deck. And, you know, it was a moment yesterday that I went and I played something that, you know, triggered some very young boys. I think they were about 12, 13-year-old.
Wow.
And they came to my deck and they started watching me. And I was like, okay, I've done something now that has inspired, or, you know, they're taking an interest in this. Yeah. So I think these are these kind of moments that I think anyone starting out, you will get a lot out of just getting there. For example, you want to go into photography, go and spend a day with a photographer at an event. See how it is to actually live that life. What challenges come with it? What are the pressure that they have to deal with? You know, because bahut log ko lagta hai ki I can do DJing, for example, but they show up and, you know, maybe they might feel ki nahi, I'm not prepared for this. Yeah. Because of the you know, the pressure that they have to go through, or, you know, they feel ki nahi, I can't, you know, I can't deal with the kind of things that it comes with. So the best thing I would advise is just go out. Don't be afraid to just spend a day, a week, and just keep on doing the task and observing people. What are they doing? Try to pick up what are they doing well. Try and even pick up, for example, if you can do something better. Yeah. And just think that, okay, you know what? I think we'll say ye cheez miss ki. If I was in their place, I would do that. Yeah. Because I remember when in my first initial couple of, you know, months, I was observing other DJs and I was like, wow, this is amazing, you know, what they can do. Yeah. But I observed this about a DJ. He was great on the decks, but he didn't even pick up the mic once.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do differently. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to grab the mic and I'm going to keep hyping up the crowd. I'm going to engage with them. And that, honestly, I think is a true differentiator. So, वही होता है, you look at people and you feel कि हाँ यार ये तो बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है, but मैं अपना थोड़ा अपना इसमें अंदाज डालना चाहता हूँ. I want to put my style to it.
Cool. So I think what you want to say is go out there, guys, take a chance, find one unique USP for yourself out there, and think differently while you're looking at somebody else or learning from someone else. That is that one message that Karan wants to pass it on to the reason. We're coming more to the closer of the podcast, right? And I will try to wrap it up as quickly as possible in the next couple of questions. But what is your one scaling secret? Is it a mindset? Is it a belief? Is it an action that helped you from going from a hobby or a bedroom DJ or a room DJ to conquering New Zealand?
Yeah. I think the crucial thing for me is hunger. I'm very ambitious. I have a lot of big dreams personally and professionally as well.
Yep.
I think वो personal dreams को achieve करने के लिए I needed to excel this.
Any personal dream you think you fulfilled that you want to talk about?
I think it's just something. It could be as small as flying my parents out to a holiday. Something that I want to take them out and I want to treat them to a lavish, like a lavish event, for example, or a night out.
Yep.
And similarly, buying a dream car, for example. Yep. These are things that I was like, okay, I want to get there. मेरे को ये करना है. And similarly, I don't want, like, might sound a little bit more, impromptu in terms of spoiling, but I don't want my kid to ever, and for them to ever lay their hands on something and I'm like, nahi le sakta, like that. So I was like, from that very young, early point in time, I was like, if I want to get to that level, I need to do something about it. क्योंकि मेरे को बहुत पहले पता चल गया था कि no one in this world is really coming to help you, right? No one is coming there to save you in terms of or magically give you things.
Of course.
If you want something, you have to get out there and get it. And so for me, I think it's one of those key moments कि यार अगर if you want to fuel your passion and your personal achievements, your hunger, you have to keep working hard. You have to keep showing up. You have to, whether it's multiple events in a week or if it's slow stretches, you just got to do and just keep at it.
Fantastic. And just the last question from my side. You built a brand right from the scratch to what you are right now. And what would be that one message that you want to tell it to the people who are sitting on the fence, right? So, सोच रहे कि करें ना करें. What is that one message, quick, sharp message that you want to tell them that, you know what, guys, do this.
Yeah.
And that will be the key to success.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel it's just believe in yourself. It's just a simple message. Have the faith, go and do the hard yards, and just don't be afraid of committing to it. It might not take off immediately, but honestly, if you put in your hard yards, you will start to see the organic growth coming in the next weeks, months. It could even be years before you get to that point.
100%.
For me, I felt like I was going to be that kind of DJ key. I'm going to do my first event and it's going to be like, who is that guy? Who is that guy? वो नहीं होता है, right? And so for me to be able to get to that point, जहाँ पर I no longer have to introduce myself, where people come up to me at weddings and be like, and it happened, at a wedding yesterday that people were like, oh, we had heard so much about you, and so we're looking at this day. So to get to that point, I think you have to do your hard yards, but the main thing was just being able to believe in yourself.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Karan, for coming here and giving us the beautiful insights of DJing. From press and play, it's not that. Let's get it right, guys. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of work that goes behind the screens that people don't usually see it when he comes or jumps onto a stage. But there was DJ KAZ / Karan Bhatia on Scaling Secrets. If you like the episode, please like, share, subscribe. We'll put his Instagram handles underneath on the comment so you can actually reach out to him if you want to. Or if you have any upcoming event that you want to reach out to him, please do reach out to him. And if you have somebody that that have excelled or scaled within the business, please write down in the comments. We'll reach out to them. We'll talk to them, learn about their journey, and see how we can motivate others and build this community to the level where we want to. Thank you so much.